Good morning, Principal Sir.
Director sir, good morning.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Yeah, Dr. Martin sir already joined. Mr. Secretary also already joined for your kind information.
Thank you. Martin, sir, I could see. Okay, sir.
And Dean ma'am is joining now.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You can see Secretary sir now.
Sir, namaskaram, sir. Martin, sir. Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Sophia, we start. Sophia, it's time. 11:03. Because
Yes,
1 hour only.
Yes.
You ensure chief guest joined actually. Dr. Laurina ma'am. Is ma'am there? Can you check? Because 92 joined already. We have to check.
Sir, good morning. I have joined actually.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Director sir, Mr. Secretary sir, ma'am has joined from university.
Yeah, we can
Good
start.
morning, Dean, ma'am.
Yeah. Dr. Sophia, we can start.
Respected Chairman, Sri V. Lakshmi Narayana Swami,
President Srimati L. Suguna,
Sri Dr. Srikant Kannan,
Director Dr. V. Sekar,
Principal Dr. R.K. Vaidyanathan,
respected dignitaries, colleagues, and my dear students. Happy morning to one and all who are present here virtually in this webinar titled The Impact of COVID on School Education. Although change is the only thing which never changes, COVID showed us the unseen traumatic phases in all sectors, especially among school-going students and academicians.
During this difficult phase of COVID-19, the Suguna group of institutions is united with India in curbing the menace by organizing vaccination drives, motivational webinars, and staying in close contact with all of Suguna's family members. As a responsible institution, we have amplified our efforts to ensure that we all withstand this global health crisis.
Once again, we welcome you all to the webinar on the impact of COVID on school education.
The paraphrase Rumi, the pandemic's lacerating wounds may ultimately let light to enter, and maybe the light will enter us as a people, making us more humanitarian and more united. That is what the Suguna institution is. Let us imbibe the spirit of unity with the state song of Tamil Nadu, Tamil Thai Varthu. When you're locked up in here for life, you learn to welcome the little freedoms. As a popular saying goes, Atiti Devo Bhava. We, the Sugunites, welcome each and everyone who enter this temple of wisdom. I request Dr. R.K. Vaidyanathan, Principal, Suguna College of Arts and Science, the navigator of this flagship of knowledge, to welcome the gathering and for the keynote address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The most respected chief guest, distinguished special invitees, esteemed Chairman, President Ma'am, Mr. Secretary Sir, Mr. Director, professors, school teachers, special invitees, faculty members, and my dear students. This is again a great day for Suguna Group of Institutions, and especially for Suguna College of Arts and Science. This topic on the impact of COVID on school education has been discussed by many. And when this topic was proposed by me to Chief Education Officer of Coimbatore, Sir said, we go ahead. So we thought the right platform to be created. So that platform has been now created with due blessings of Dean of College Development Council, Dr. Laulina Little Flower Ma'am, on behalf of Suguna Group of Institutions, on all office bearers, behalf of Trust, Director Admin, faculty friends, I welcome you, ma'am. And it's my immense pleasure to welcome our Chairman, Madam President, Mr. Secretary, and Mr. Director. And these icons are always behind me and always helps me in approving a program, and they are my real great backbone to take this institute to the next level. I welcome you all, sir. And it's my great pleasure to welcome the special invitees, Dr. Martin sir, Principal of Navbharat School, Anur, and I extend my welcome, sir. And Dr. Natasha, and she's one of the great authors and icons who always writes poet, and she's a poet and poems. And I welcome you, ma'am. And I welcome Dr. Preeti Kochar, and she's again a great icon in the field of authoring, and she has done many research papers. And I welcome you, ma'am. And Professor Nisha is not joining yet, and we are waiting for it. So once again, I welcome all of you on this great occasion, and I welcome you all. Thank you, Dr. Sophia.
Thank you, sir. A good teacher will appreciate the good qualities of his students. If one good quality is the love to emerge, a world of good qualities will emerge from that one. Without much delay, I request Dr. Shrikant Kannan, Secretary, Suguna College of Arts and Science, for the presidential address.
Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. My prostrations first and foremost to the entire lineage of teachers whose grace and glory is what we are witnessing in our life around us now. Distinguished chairman couple of our institution, chief guest of the day, Professor Dr. Laulina Little Flower, Dr. P.S. Martin from the Navbharat National Schools, Ms. Natasha, Miss Preeti, is that what you said, Mr. Vaidyanathan? The name is not there on the list. Anyway, our distinguished principals from our institutions, my brother, Director Shekhar, who is here with us today, the Director Admin of the Suguna Group, our members of faculties, both teaching and non-teaching, and beloved students. Time and again, we have ensured in showcasing to the world that, like the leaders in their respective areas, Sugna is no less when it comes to showing our resilience to the difficulties around us. Unparalleled to humankind, this COVID, which kind of started somewhere in the month of November 2019, which is about 2 years behind us now, it has been taking various dimensions and shapes that we find it difficult to comprehend the whole thing in our normal day-to-day life. What shape it takes, where it comes from, how it lacked, how we can contain it, is still knowledge at large. We all keep talking about it, thinking about it, but none of us really have an idea. There is no written SOP as to how we can combat it. Every time humankind comes up with some method by which it can combat this disease, we hear that it has taken a new variant, it has assumed a new shape. So it is still at large as far as we are concerned. But believe me, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students, God has given us the inner strength to withstand all this kind of difficulty and still emerge victorious. That is what we are seeing all around us now. Today's exercise that we are doing, this seminar on the impact of COVID on school education, is a very relevant one, in as much as we know that various segments of society have been affected by COVID. The ruling class, the working force, the labor class, the teaching people, the medical people, various career-oriented people like lawyers, doctors, engineers, all of them in their career have been touched in one way or other in a very negative sense by this COVID. But much more than all these people, the one group which really deserves our sympathy today is our young minds, the future leaders, the school-going age children. Yes, indeed, it is true that all have been affected badly, but I'm sure you will agree with me that the school-going children are the most precious ones for us, who need to be cocooned, who need to be safeguarded, who need to be kept under our wings to ensure their safety and security. And that is a time, as Bharadiyar said in his song, Odu Vilayadu Papa, he said, a child has to learn lessons of life, not just from the academic books or from the classrooms. He has to learn it also from the play fields. And unfortunately, today's pandemic, the biggest difficulty it has given to us is that children are not allowed to interact. They are not able to mix with others because we are frightened of what the pandemic will do to us. So this difficulty, this lack of playful nature which the children are endowed with, is a very big danger, very big difficulty, very big negative factor for all of us to combat. So this topic today that we have taken, the impact of COVID on school children, that way is a very, very relevant one. Let's hope, wish and pray that, as Sophia said in the beginning, more light will emerge out of the deliberations today, that it will give us the necessary passage that we need in front of us. It will throw light on that. Let's hope, wish and pray it happens that way. We are really glad that very senior people like Dr. Lovelina, Sri Martin, and others have joined us. I'm sure that all your experiences in your various fields on a day-to-day life will throw ample correct light and also show us the nuances by which we can overcome all these things and ensure that within the ambit of what is existing, we can still provide safety and security and a good quality life for our school children. I wish this program all success. It is also my bounden duty to carry to you all the love, the blessings, the care, and the concern of our chairman, Sri Lakshmi Narayan Swami, and our president, Mrs. Suguna Lakshmi Narayan Swami, who hold the welfare of children very close to their heart. The Suguna group has got more than about 3,000 children studying in their various schools. So we give a lot of impetus, a lot of importance to the welfare of children. We have children for the totally downtrodden ones, the Suguna Vidya Niketan, where the children are taught totally free. So Suguna group has always shown itself to be a caretaker of the society. I'm glad that the Suguna College of Arts and Science, with the leadership of Professor Vaidyanathan, as Sophia rightly said, he is the navigator of the ship, the flagship of Suguna, the latest child in the field of education that we have embarked on. I'm sure that all your efforts will pay us good dividends. God bless you. Have a great time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The place where success comes before work is only in dictionary. But then today we are proud to have Professor Dr. Lovelina Littleflower, Dean, College Development Council, Bardiyar University among us.
Dr. Lovelina has pursued her PhD in social work from Bharathidasan University, Trichy, and has a teaching experience of 25 years. She had been an international exchange reacher at Linnaeus Palm program and visited Umeå University, Sweden for about 5 weeks during 2004. Under her guidance, 10 candidates have been awarded with PhD and another 8 are pursuing. I request Dr. Lovelina for her chief guest address.
A very good morning to all of you. And at the outset, I have to thank Professor Vaidyanathan for having invited me to be present in this particular function. Thank you for this opportunity. And my congratulations to the entire Suguna group of institutions and the office bearers of the Suguna Trust, especially the chairman, the president, Madam Suguna, and the secretary, sir, and all others, and the learned colleagues of Professor Vaidyanathan and mine, and especially the esteemed speakers, those who are going to address the children after me. And every one of you, a very good morning once again. And my congratulations to Suguna College of Arts and Science, because I don't really know whether other organizations have thought about these kind of programs for the college and also for the welfare of the schools and other target groups. So that way, I'm very glad that Suguna has come out with this program. When Professor Vaidyanathan asked me to be the chief guest for this program, I initially just hesitated, and then I agreed for two reasons. One is that after me assuming as Dean College Development Council, I was able to interact with the Suguna office bearers, trust office bearers a little bit, and I understood the real cause for which they have started this particular college, Suguna College of Arts and Science. I was very happy about it. That is one reason for me to accept this invitation. The second reason is that it is needless to explain that being a social worker myself and heading the Department of Social Work, I feel it is a bounden duty about talking about these problems and creating awareness among the public and also the learned colleagues to understand the impact of this COVID, especially in this school education system. why I'm saying that, I think all of you can understand, maybe the other speakers would also be talking about that. But then I will simply say a few points, which I think maybe I will set the stage rolling so that others can also follow that. First thing is that there are a lot of transformation, especially the massive transformation relating to job landscape. The so-called conventional job patterns have now changed. It is no more the same kind of jobs that we are expecting, and also the job market is enlarging. So many avenues for the students after completing their schooling and also higher education. But are we really ready? And again, there is another important issue now we are all, it is a challenge that we call that as technological disruption. So, how the technologies are being used nowadays. So, that we call it as technological disruption, innovative ways of using so many technologies. So, that is second challenge now we are getting. And third one, the demand for quality education. That again, an important aspect now everyone is focusing. It is no more the ordinary education that, or simply creating the knowledge among the children. That is not the purpose of giving education. So more than that, we expect the outcome. So even in our university, we have implemented outcome-based education. That is very important. It is not simply giving education. More than that, we expect what is the outcome. So outcome-based education, and above all, the implementation of new education policy 2020. So when we are experiencing these challenges, all of a sudden there is a bolt, like this pandemic. It occurred March 2020, and then later on there are so many issues we all have experienced, and the schools were closed during the lockdown, and almost 15 months the schools were closed. The children are at home, and above all, I can say that the number almost 250 million students, they are at home. And during this pandemic, as our secretary sir, when he mentioned about Bharatiyar's literature, the words Odi Vilayadu Papa, the same way in a psychological perspective, which I would like to add to what sir has already said, that the socialization process which will happen when the child, when it is very small, it will be happening in the families. But once the child, when it goes to the school, that is the first point of children learning about the socialization. So, but what happened during this lockdown and also this pandemic occurrence, that has totally stopped. So the socialization, which is the crux of any individual's adult life, how it is going to influence his personality, that has been totally stopped. So that is a very serious problem that the children had to undergo. That second important aspect. Then third, if you ask, the transition of teachers being teaching in the online mode. Not only teachers, even the students, they have to learn through this particular online medium. That is again a very big challenge. Even today we are facing that particular challenge, and needless to explain about the problems about network facility, whether are we really ready to accept these changes. The systems are ready, the children, all of them are having internet connectivity, or the expenditure relating to that, or the network facilities in all the places. If say for example, if you are taking Tamil Nadu state, the entire state, do we really have this uninterrupted network internet connectivity? That again a question mark. Above all, the digital divide, what we call it as a digital divide. If a family has a mobile phone, maybe the father might be having or the mother might be having. Suppose two children at home, two of them will have to use both the mobiles of the parents. Suppose if there is one more child, or if mother is not having a smartphone, what happens to the family economically? So again, that is again a big problem. And above all, as a teacher, I could tell you that the learning losses. So the face-to-face interaction is missing in the online programs. And again, the real classroom setup, which will help the children to learn more, that was not happening. So all these points, whichever I have mentioned here, are the problems what we have really experienced. And above all, the school dropouts. If we take a survey, I think we can come out with a large number of children who have not able to join the schools, or some of them have left schooling because of this pandemic. And very recently, all of us, we were witnessing that there is a survey which says that the children, many children, the number of children admitted in the government schools are more when compared to private schools. What it indicates, as a social worker's perspective, I can tell you that the economic problems faced by the parents, they were not able to give fees to the private schools. Hence, they have joined or they have admitted their children in the schools, the government schools, which I feel it as a welcoming move. And so I don't find problem with that. But then I'm telling all these are happening. The challenges what we are facing or the scenario how it is being changed, that I'm trying to explain to all of you. So all these are the challenges. You might have a question in your mind that, madam, all these are the challenges. Of course we have. There is no one particular positive aspects of pandemic, whether it had or not. I can tell you one particular positive thing what had happened is that the adoption of digital media. Even 2-3 years back, if people have come and told us that hereafter we would be addressing the systems, computers in the on the table, nobody would have believed. But today I'm speaking to the system which is in front of me, the monitor which is there in front of me, and I'm looking at all of you. So that way, if 3 years back somebody would have somebody has told me, I would have never accepted. But now it's happening. So this is, I really feel it as a positive thing. And whomever we are interested to call to give a good inputs to our students, though they are from anywhere of the world, I could call them nowadays, and they can also come online and they can give a lot of inputs to our students. So that way, this particular advantage is there in this online classes. So all these things we have experienced, and now after 15 months of closure, now the schools are getting reopened, and now we are again threatened with another mutated virus, but still the schools are getting reopened. How we are going to accommodate these school children after 15 months of gap? They are coming back to the normalcy, they are coming to the classrooms. How we are going to make them comfortable in the classroom sitting and also listening to the teachers offline, and making them to write, read and learn properly? All those things we are going to be very big challenges for us. So I think maybe the other speakers would be elaborating on all those issues. So at this point, I just stop. And I have to thank once again the organizers for having organizing such a wonderful program, which is the need of the hour. I really feel, because though it is not only the problems, whatever we have discussed here, it is not only pertinent only to the school children, it is also again for the college students. Many of them have written their exams through online, which again a question mark how far they have learned and how far they have written it originally. All those are challenges. And so these college students who are attending this program may also have a lot of inputs from the resource persons. So I wish them all very best. And once again, I thank you for having invited me to this particular program, which I really feel happy. I'm glad that you have organized these kind of programs. So thank you once again. So let us bring out some, after the completion of this program, maybe Professor Vaidyanathan can give an article about this, how you have organized, what are the inputs given by the resource person. Maybe we will let us together, we can bring out a publication out of this, which will may be given to other teachers or the students, so that they all can understand the problems, and more than the problems, how we can sort it out in a better way. So that can also be achieved in this particular seminar on school COVID impact on school education. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do. With much delight, I request Dr. P.S. Martin, Senior Principal, Navabharat National School, Annur, Coimbatore, for the address.
Thank you very much for the brief introduction. Indeed, I am very happy to join with the great dignitaries who are here addressing about the present scenario and the impact of COVID on the education system. I am being an educationist for the last 40 years, working meticulously to bring out the students to the level of their achievement in greater manner. Right now, I just would like to uh, thank each and every one of you for the great opportunity provided to me this platform. And I want to thank Professor Vaidyanathan for the opportunity he has called and given to me. And I have a very close association with the Suguna group of institution for the last 6 years. And I have personally closely associated with the schools as well as the director of the college, Dr. Shekhar. And also, I have great regard for the chairperson and the chairman of the association of Suguna group of institutions. And I would like to thank the people who have addressed about the impact of COVID-19 on education. Needless to say that how this COVID has affected, which is a foreign to us for a long time. We never knew about it. But later when it affected, then we realized. Some of us even we underwent the turmoil of the COVID, got affected severely, maybe we recovered. But at the same time, the precautionary measures taken by the central government and the state governments and the organizations, and especially the World Health Organization, has brought a stall for this spread of COVID-19 to further deep into the populated areas. I'm keenly watching because I'm very much concerned about my school and the schools where I associated with the Coimbatore Sagodaya. Very deeply, I am thinking about how we can recover from this COVID-19 impact. It affected the entire team of educators, not only in the school level, even college level. The entire country was in lockdown. Even it's continuing with further announcement of some liberations. But however, still we are under the threat of the COVID. It comes in different variants at different intervals in different places. But in one place they found one variant. How fast it moves into the other countries, we don't know. The countries are taking all measures to check the new variants to come into our country. And I'm really grateful to the political organizations that we have, that they are running the governments, taking very keen interest on checking this spread of COVID and its aftermath. My dear friends, here this morning, Navabharat National School is a residential institution with up to senior secondary level, having its existence for more than 15 years. With the dynamic leadership of the management and the various other association with the leaders here, I would like to thank on behalf of the Navabharat National School. Maybe I just would like to repeat certain points which have been already pointed out by the speakers. If it is a repetition, kindly you bear with me. But otherwise, the students who are here, the college students of arts and science and other discipline, and other dignitaries who are listening this address, maybe we will understand how the COVID affected not only our health perspective view, but the economic, social, and even our discipline. My dear colleagues, I just would like to give in India the education sector, which was hitherto slow to change, has been witnessing a massive transformation recently with changing job landscape, technological disruptions, demand for quality education, and the implementation of the new education policy which you and I right now we are working out round the clock, the SQA assessment, school quality assessment, and the awareness and the assurance program. It is the policy, the national education policy which drafted, it's called the National Education Policy 2020. It's giving much importance to the country's education line, both primary, secondary, senior secondary, collegiate, and higher education. The pandemic caused further shocks to the system, with the schools forced to shut down during the lockdown period. And the transition of students and teachers to online teaching learning was a challenge, was an unknown event. Many of us, we never understood what the online. In the urban area, maybe it was a very easy access for the children, but in the rural area was very remote, and children were not aware about the online classes. It is all because of the lockdown. More than 15 months, the schools and colleges were being closed. Even people were not allowed to come out during the daytime, very restricted time given, and they used to come out. In India, around 250 million students were affected due to school closures at the onset of lockdown induced by COVID 19. The pandemic posed several challenges in public and private schools, which included an expected rise in dropouts, as already mentioned by Dr. Learning losses, increase in the digital devices. The pandemic also called into question the readiness of the system, including teachers, to address such a crisis and sustainability of private schools. However, COVID 19 also acted as a catalyst for digital adoption in school education. Yes, really indeed. Many of us, even teachers, students, they were not aware of the online digital platform, but were given an opportunity to use the online education system. Therefore, it became a catalyst for us. With schools reopening in many states, it's important that a careful strategy is built into a smoothen the transition of a careful strategy is built into smoothen the transition of children back to school after more than 15 months of home-based education system. This transition has to consider the learning losses which had happened over the previous years, as well take a futuristic approach to build a resilient system which can withstand any future shocks. The new education policy 2020 and subsequently government initiatives such as National Digital Education Architecture and National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy are expected to provide a blueprint for this transformation. The paper is a culmination of Confederation of Indian Industry, the school summit held 2021, which brought together policymakers, industrials, and service providers together on a platform to deliberate on a road to recovery for schools for the post-pandemic period. It analyzes the impact of the pandemic across 5 themes and maps the various relatives initiatives taken by governments and civil society organizations to address the challenges. Number one, curtailing dropouts during and post pandemic. Number two, decline in learning outcomes and as well being. Three, integration of digital based learning. Number four, role and capacity of teachers. And the last, fifth one, sustainability of private schools. This is a major concern. The point number 5 is a major concern now we all talk about. Sustainability of private schools. It further draws a roadmap to recovery for the school education system across these 5 themes centered around the vision laid down by the NEP 2020, as well as drawing from best practices across the globe in the form of 13 recommendations. My dear audience, my dear friends here, the paper unfolds discussions on some important thematic areas of school education in the post-pandemic period, such as path leading to quality relationship between student and educator, systematic intervention, redefining the role of teachers as edupreneurs, role of digital technology in impacting teaching learning processes, solutions bridging the learning gaps in curriculum, pedagogy and assessments, and strategies for ensuring sustainability of private schools. The paper may act as a reference for all concerned, all stakeholders on post-pandemic recovery of the schools with the focus of building an equitable, inclusive, and holistic education system for the country right now. Outside the classroom now, learning losses may translate into even greater long-term challenges. This is very important, noteworthy, we must know about it. It has long been known that decreases in test scores are associated with future declines in employment. This is a major concern now we need to face. I think all the other educationists who are here listening will definitely accept this point. If not, the statistics says that it is like this. The effect of the COVID on the education system has to go for a long time period. It will decrease the test scores both in colleges, schools, because college students have not done their 12th standard examination, 11th standard examination. And of course, some colleges, some schools, they conducted the examination and given the pass to the students. And conversely, increase in student achievement lead to significant increases in future income also. So do additional years of schooling needed, which are associated with an 8 to 9% of the gain in lifetime earnings. This is a very, very big crisis. All of us, we should understand it. In the absence of any intervention, the learning losses arising from the COVID-19 pandemic are likely to have a long-term compounding negative effect on many children's future well-being. These learning losses could translate into less access to higher education, lower labor market participation, and lower future earnings. A survey report says like this, alarmingly, 1 in 5 children in the sample collected in schools that do not offer any remote instruction during the school closure. And even among the children whose schools had begun remote instruction, only slightly more than half attended the classes. It is very true, 50% of the students, even in the private schools, even in the urban areas, the semi-urban areas, rural areas, and particularly in the rural areas where there is no network, where there is no online facility given by the educational institution, either it is a private school or the government schools, or whether affordability was there or not, all these things have affected that many students have not attended the online classes. There are two figures I could show here. My office secretary can do that. Otherwise, it shows that how they further indicate that during the pandemic related school closures, students in private schools and those from households with high socio-economic status have more access to digital devices and are more engaged in regular educational activities than their peers in government schools and from low socio-economic status group in the households. Children enrolled in private schools and from high SES households had higher rates of access to digital devices such as smartphones, internet, and computers, laptops, and whatever, than their peers in the government schools and from low socioeconomic status households. These preliminary results shed light into a likely growing inequality of educational opportunity and suggest the need for policymakers to support access to regular learning opportunities at home for children from the low socioeconomic status households in the government and private schools. Now it has become normalized. Even government schools have opened. Government schools offering the online education through television, and the private schools are continue to give education in the online platform. Few students still they don't want to come to school and they want to stay at home and listen to their teachers. And the students in the school who have the facility of the online is still continuing. And other emerging evidence from the COVID-19 school closures suggests that ensuring students have access to even low-tech interventions such as SMS text messages and phone calls can help mitigate the potential learning losses. I'm coming to the closure of my speech by giving another prior research that has shown that the impact of school closure in low-income countries may differ by gender, as girls are often expected to help out with household chores or assist parents in caring for the younger siblings. However, the study reiterates here an encouraging pattern where the girls are more likely than boys to have access to digital devices for learning and to engage in more regular educational activities. Nevertheless, this finding suggests the need for further analysis into why boys may be losing out on educational opportunity and what strategies may be most effective in increased learning among both girls and boys in India and other low income countries. Altogether, Altogether, these preliminary results shed light onto a likely growing inequality of educational opportunity. I underline here inequality of educational opportunity in India and around the world for their country citizens, suggesting the need for policymakers to broaden access to continuous and equitable learning opportunities across the students' population. Looking ahead, looking ahead, it will be crucial for the governments to enact strategies to help students recover from the learning losses suffered during the school closures and to return to school. Such a strategy may include working closely with the health authorities, plan to reopen schools safely as soon as possible in the states where still the pandemic is very severe, or the countries still they face a lot of problems, assesses each child's foundational literacy and numeracy skills as soon as possible to help teachers and parents develop personalized interventions to ensure that each child can get back on track to develop these critical skills. And of course, in schools, we did, and we are still continuing. We are starting from the beginning, right from the beginning, where we stopped before the closure of the school 2 years ago. Now we started again, lesson by lesson, topic by topic. Again, we are preparing the children for the board examination. Now the board examination is in session for 10 and 12 standard. And of course, in college also, you have your semester examination started, and the students have been asked to come to colleges and write the examination. So now, what is the measurement or the measure that we need to take in order to give the proper education to the students? The teachers have to come back to the school. The teachers should be access to the textbook again. They should remodify their teaching ability according to the will and pattern of the students' community. Expand access to digital devices and connectivity among educators and students, along with guidance and support to teachers and edtech resources that are best aligned to each student's learning level. Provide socio-emotional support to educators and students. This is very important, where the socio-emotional support at this time is very much needed. Every colleges, every schools, they have formed a counseling system. In my school, I have separate counselor adopted for this new system, that after closure of the school for more than 15 months, and every day, one after another, they come with a lot of compliance, with a lot of crisis, with a lot of emotional feelings, because they have been sophisticatedly stayed. Maybe the other household people in the remote area, they went for child labor work. They earned some money, supported their family. And on the other hand, the devices, the electronic devices like smartphone, the computer, have spoiled some of their careers. The modern ages, students gone into the video games and so many other social media defaults, and they become the prey of all kind of the emotional skills, and they become the victims of this kind of devices too, that we cannot be just ignored. Recognizing that the pandemic has not only caused learning loss, but also emotional trauma in too many households. Herewith, I just would like to conclude by saying that we need to be alarmed, we need to be alert ourselves as educators in colleges, educators in the schools, students who are listening here, teachers who are participating here. Maybe you can think about what are the challenges are put before us, and how are we going to overcome it? How are we going to address the challenges. And it is you and me. It is your colleges, and it is your teachers, your professors, your associate professors, and your college teachers, and your peers. Everyone we can join together, and we put our hands together and take a strong decision to stop further spread of this COVID and further spread of any variants by keeping ourselves following the COVID norms. And thank you for the opportunity given to talk about the impact of the COVID 19 in the education system. And we have all undergone a severe pandemic impact in our schools, as already mentioned by the other speakers. And we too have gone, but we are slowly recovering from that. So, with this, I thank the management of Suguna College of Arts and Science and the principal, the director, the chairperson, and all the other related members for the valid opportunity you have granted to me. Consider me as a person to come and address. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, dear all,
Thank you, sir.
if it disconnects,
Thank you, Madhu, sir.
if it disconnects, please join again in 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As quoted by Ms. Natasha Bharadwaj, I don't share what is already on Google. Anyone can search it. I share my emotions, experience in silence. I share the joy of experimentation to experience. With much joy, I request Ms. Natasha to share her journey of experimentation to experience with us.
Hello, everyone. Good noon. Thank you, YDG, for inviting me here and the Suguna Institution. And I'm glad I'm here because everyone is senior to me. Here, I am just a little light between you guys, and I'm glad that I'm present here and I got the opportunity to share my views. And I'm very happy, Sophia ji, that you found the quote. And I was like, oh my God, from where she found this quote? Thank you so much. Yeah, because common sense is not a common thing said by a famous author, Covin Stephen. And we are losing the common sense because for everything, we are searching on Google. But the silence and the emotions that cannot be searched on Google. And we are here to talk about the impact of COVID on students' education. So, yes, if I see from my perspective, it has affected not just their formal education, it has also affected their mental, emotional health and their social life. Like, I remember my days, still, I remember my days of school, the memories I had with my teachers, my friends, my classmates. But these students, they have missed everything, especially the kids, those who were like, those who were 3 year old or 4 year old, and they were about to take admission in school, but they couldn't because of this COVID. And students, those who are like in 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 12th standard, and college going students, this COVID has made their life monotonous. And they don't know now like how to go in school and create memories, participating in extra curriculum activities, coming on stage and speaking. So school just do not provide us the formal education that is required to get a job or admission in college. It makes us the person we are. It makes us emotionally and mentally strong. Our teachers, for example, when someone fail in school, when they go to school, teachers motivate them and their friends motivate them. So school is just not a place for education for kids, for school going and college kids. School is a place, it is more than the home for them, because 6 hours or 7 hours of day they spend in school and colleges, and after their schooling and college is done, they remember those memories, and those memories are really important. Also, I have seen, like, because two kids are sitting at home all the time and their life has become monotonous, so it has affected them mentally also. Many of them got anxiety, many of them got stress, unnecessary stress and irritation in their life, I can see. And not just that, they're not going to school and colleges, like they're not even going outside. The playtime is, there is no park time, there is no playtime, so their life has become really stagnant. This is not the life. We are not robot. We are human beings. We need emotions. We need feelings. And this age is the age where a kid is nurtured not just by this formal education, by the other things, participating in sports, participating in lab activities and different curriculums. So that combiningly all these things make a student a good person. The values in school come, like teacher always pressure them to do their homework, be in discipline, and come to school on time. So completely different environment students get there, which is completely missed in COVID. And I wish that if students are suffering, yeah, I can see from even in my home, I can see some kids like they're intelligent. Even their formal education has affected in such a way. Students, those who are intelligent, they have also become like lazy in their studies. They are not they are not now taking care of the education, and they are just like taking it very lightly, like exams are online, so they are not studying. They are very smart. What they are doing is, at one side, like if you ask them to open the camera, they open the camera, but someone at the back is helping them very smartly. These kids are really smart. So they are doing cheating, which is not good for their future. They think we are smart, but this smartness will not help them. So all these things can end up once the schools and colleges reopen. And after the colleges and schools are reopened, we the being the responsible people, the college teachers and faculties have to take care to nurture their emotions, to nurture their mind, and to to pamper them again like a small kid, and bring to them to that level so they can study hard and become a good person and a future of country and make us feel proud. So very short, I would like to conclude that mental and emotional health of kids has affected, which has affected their complete life. And once the school and colleges reopen, we need to first take care of all these things. We need to take care of their mental and emotional health, which after that, everything would be taken care itself. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you, Natasha ma'am, for this wonderful speech. Now, I request Dr. Preeti Vikas Sharof, healthcare consultant, proprietor, Dr. Preeti Consultancy, for this special address.
Dr. Sophia,
Sir, she's in line only.
just ensure the mic is on.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, doctor.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for inviting me for this program. Thank you, the Suguna group. I also thank Vaidyanathan sir for inviting me here. Being in the medical fraternity, it's we being in the frontline management, we've seen the distress, the hysteria, which has been put for students, not only for the students, but it has been very, very crucial for the teachers, for the parents, and all the economy which surrounds the school structure. So the employment and the earnings and the capacity of the students to move forward with their education has hampered in a very big way, in a very bad way as well. So for curbing this, the initiative which on a whole as a family can be taken is the emotional counseling for students, emotional betterment of the students. As I discussed earlier, we could have also included a lot of psychiatric counselors, psychology counselors in the schools and colleges, so that the impact or the hysterical impact which has happened on the students, like the thought like, yes, are we going to be able to be in this scenario? Are we competent enough? Do we know enough? How do we assimilate the education system which has been digitalized as of now? It wasn't easy for everyone, not the parents, not the students, and the whole of the ambience at home has been disrupted, because it was not only the physical involvement of the students in the school, it was more of emotional, ethical, behavioral. Everything has come back to home and stayed there for a long time. Students have been inactive for a very long time. The emotional dependency has increased more on the digital devices. They feel that the mobile addiction has gone to a next level. Then there is a lot of irritability. The emotional way of taking it forward as a student and studies, wherein it was very important as of now to groom them to be the social beings, like ethically. It's not been done. There's a lot of increase in domestic violence. There's a lot of increase in the health perspective. So as the pioneers of society, or the people who can guide the majority of the socio-economic circle, I would put this forth that yes, it's very important for leaders like us to make the parents understand the limitation of this current scenario. There's a lot of blame game going on between the families, like, this is how this has become, and then this is going forward like this. So the very grassroots level of this discontent is like what we are practicing, known as social distancing. In this particular scenario of social distancing, it has been very, very difficult for the children to get that kind of attachment towards their studies, towards their teachers, towards their friends. It has been a total isolation, wherein it is difficult for the students to come out of that. Now that the situations were seeming to be a little more conducive for the education system to take forward, again we have a new variant that is called as Omicron. Now this Omicron is usually affecting the younger groups, because there's no vaccination, or only the pulmonary vaccination is available for the kids in the group of 0 to 15 and till 18. I just feel that it's the duty of all the systems to come together and help these young lives to be more healthy, to be more conducive to the current scenario. As far as the teachers who are experts into blackboard, chalkbooks, and classroom teaching have been new to this digital scenario. So handling it like a pro becomes an issue with the teachers as well, students as well. So now we need to have more and more parents coming into this scenario and taking it. I'm not talking about the lower strata, wherein the unemployment or the labor class. I'm talking about the middle class people who are going through a very, very difficult time. There are students in India who came to school just because they could get food. But now that that has not been there during this pandemic, it's been difficult for the parents also to cope up with these things. As a doctor, I feel it's very important for the parents, the teachers, and the elderly people in the family to take forward the total mental health issue of a particular student or a particular child in the home. So most of the school going children are involved in child labor to support their families these days. There is a lot of chance that the education of female children can get to a low standard as of now. technology paves its way for education, thus helping the students and teachers to connect virtually through online classrooms, webinars, digital exams, and so on. But the human connect, the kind of exchange of thoughts, the kind of communication which has been there earlier, it has changed drastically. So the better aspect of this is, yes, we are becoming digital. Yes, we are moving forward, but the basic ethic or the basic human interaction, which is very important, has been lacking. So as a doctor, I would really suggest the teachers, the counselors, and whoever is surrounding the child to make it more, the child be more accessible towards, talking to people, getting interactive, and then studying as well. The social distancing, what we are finding as of now, is really making it very insecure. Kids are not very secured in this situation because that's not how we live. We are not ready for this yet, but it came. So we have to go through this together, but we have to update the infrastructure and should think of ways to undertake the situation and providing education to every child amid the pandemic. If we face something precisely like this in the future, we need to be very well equipped for this kind of a scenario. So having preventive medication, taking good health care, and looking forward for the future and be optimistic is what I would suggest on this platform. Uh, I think everyone, all the speakers have been highlighting the socio-economic crisis, the socio-economic status, and how we can go forward with it. But a little more of interactive sessions with the child, talking it out, sharing experiences, having a time for education, interacting with the child for their future, listening to them, talking to them, getting their side of the story is very important. So that's how I would want to conclude this small thought exchange. I thank you for having me on this platform. Highest regards to Vaidyanathan sir for bringing up all this together so that we can highlight the current situation and issues, and we can, as a team, proceed further to help out whoever is in need, especially the student fraternity. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti. So nice of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Leader, the person who leads the crowd, showing a less rodent path. And we, the Sugunites, are happy to have one such leader who guides, motivates, and encourages us. With no much delay, I request Dr. V. Shekhar, Director, Suguna College of Arts and Science, for the felicitation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chairman, P. Lakshmi Narayana Swami sir, Honorable President, Madam Mrs. Suguna ji, Honorable Secretary Dr. Srikanth sir, my beloved colleague, Vaidyanathan Principal, esteemed Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Lavlina Littleflower, Dean, College Development Council, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, my lovely friend, Dr. P.S. Martin, who is a pioneer in school education and who is a structure, always, who is a person who always talked about in Coimbatore area, Dr. P.S. Martin, Senior Principal, now Bharat National School, who gave a very good speech. Madam Natasha Bharadwaj, life coach, and Dr. Preeti Vikas, healthcare consultant. We are a small baby. A college just started 2 years ago. A college is discussing on school education with experts from different worlds. Dr. Martin has highlighted how we have suffered last 15 months. Dr. Natasha Bharadwaj told us have students view. The same thing Dr. Preeti Vikas also told, have students view. Actually, when this Corona threatened us in Suguna group. Our chairman, sir, and madam took it very coolly. They made a strategy. Education should never be stopped. So what can be done? The teachers, they called us, we called the teachers and gave them how to go for online training. None was aware how to go about teaching. A special coaching was done for almost 15 days. From LKG level to 12th standard teachers, we have given them extensive training. The training has been watched by the chairman, president, and myself carefully, whether they are capable of teaching online. After satisfaction, they were given online teaching classes. Students welcome that. 1 full year over in online. But CBSE wanted to conduct exams offline. Major part of exams over offline, but minor part is not there. Because of Corona, they could not conduct exams. There are a lot of confusions. Marks also have to have averaging the marks. So like this, 1 year over. Again, second year, it's a mixture of both online and offline. But when we analyze the impact of COVID, the online education has not proved better for everybody. In fact, we have started, as Mr. Martin was telling, learning losses. The great word he used, it's really a loss for the children's improvement, children's future. What happened? Even that time we stopped. 12th standard students of 2020 and the graduates who have graduated in the year 2020, they have not given importance because they could not do offline studies. It is still affecting them in many Arabian countries, wherein Eastern countries, it is affecting them. So, the government of India took a very serious view on this. So, today, the government of Tamil Nadu is specifically telling that all 10 students and 12 students have to appear for offline exam only. The same way, the universities of Tamil Nadu, almost all over India, they're insisting that offline exams only to be conducted, because if offline exams are conducted, people have to study, people have to follow the norms, people have to write the exams properly so that we can evaluate them perfect. But again, a threat of another COVID variant is there. So what will happen? This learning, online learning is going to be there permanently. Whether we like it or not, it's going to be there. It will be a hybrid method of learning. That's what Dr. Martin was telling in National Education Policy. The hybrid learning will be there permanently forever. See, there are tuition classes, Byju's, Akash, and other people. They made extensive tuition classes online so that the students can be benefited by online tuition. They can appear for competitive exams like IITG and NEET, etc., so that they can come out successful. So exams are planned on offline. Government of India has taken a good stand. But only one concern for us is, again, another COVID has come. So how to address that? As Dr. Preetha was telling, still vaccination is not there. But within 6 months, every possibility that children vaccination will definitely come. Not only children vaccination, there will be a booster vaccination for other adults also. We are proud to have Indians, almost 134 crores people have taken at least one dose, and 67% of Indians are having antibodies. They can have the capacity to withdraw the effect of, they can have the capacity to, even though the corona variant Omicron attacks, it will be absorbed. That's what the Indian scientists and the medical people are telling. So there is no need of any fear. COVID has taught us how to be alert, how to keep social distancing, how to cope along with the existing situations. It has taught us, a big country like this, we have proved ourselves highly successful, and we'll be again successful in dealing with this. And we'll take care of the children. The children vaccination will come. The impact has taught us the balanced method of teaching and also the hybrid method of learning. So I thank Dr. Vaidyanathan for arranging this wonderful platform online fact, the impact of COVID on school. Even though we are college, school education is most important. And it is
Yes.
it's a very welcome move. It's a very welcome move made by. So I personally thank all the speakers who was given a wonderful speech, given the mind, given their views.
Thank you, Dr. Martin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
To
Dr.
Dr. Vaidyanathan
Thank you, Dr.
and
Lisa.
other HODs,
Thank you.
Ms. Sophia, Ms. Brenda, and other faculties of this college for successful program. For success of this program. Thank you so much, Dr. Martin, also for having given a wonderful speech with good presentations that we have learned a lot from. Thank you so much.
See.
Thank you, Sega sir. So, thank you for an insightful speech. So, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them, says John F. Kennedy. So, I request Ms. Brinda, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries, my fellow colleagues, and my dear students, it is my esteemed honor to propose the vote of thanks. The vibration of gratitude attracts more positive thoughts into our lives. I thank our chief guest, Professor Dr. Lavina Littleflower, Dean, College Development Council, Bardiyar University, Coimbatore, for accepting our invite and presiding over this function. Thank you so much, ma'am. I extend our heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Dr. P.S. Martin, Senior Principal, Navabharat National School, Annur, Coimbatore, Dr. Preeti Vikas Saraf, Healthcare Consultant, Proprietor, Dr. Preeti Consultancy, Ms. Natasha Bharadwaj, Balanced Life Expert, Life Coach, Writer and Poet, who spared precious time from their busy schedules to grace this webinar and enlighten all of us with innovative thoughts on the impact of COVID on school education. I would take this opportunity to express my deep regards to our chairman, Shri V. Lakshmi Narayan Sami, and Madam President for being a constant motivator and guiding force in all our endeavors to excel in the field of education. I present my sincere thanks to our Secretary, Dr. Srikant Kannan, for awakening the passion and desire to support us as a ladder to reach the pole of success. I thank our Director, Dr. V. Shekhar, for his solid support and timely monitoring in every aspect as we grow. It's your appreciation and word that enthuse us in all the efforts. Thanks to you, sir. A special mention to our Venerable Principal, Dr. R.K. Vaidyanathan, being the catalyst that inspired us to do our best and stand as a pillar of power. Your constant encouragement has helped us in the best way. Thanks to you, sir. With deep sense of appreciation, I thank my fellow colleagues for their support and encouragement. The essence of fruits is always tested in the last, and we believe that the last will be the best. I would like to thank all our students, technical support team, and everyone who are virtually present in this event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ma'am Brinda. Let's revive the glory of our nation to promote the spirit of national integration through national anthem. We request the gathering to please rise for the national anthem.
We request all the participants to kindly fill the feedback form. We request all the participants to kindly fill the feedback form. Live a life full of humility, gratitude, intellectual curiosity, and never stop learning. I thank everyone for virtually sparing your time and making this program a grand success. Thank you all. Have a great day.